guys, thanks for stopping by today. Today we are canning up baked beans, better than Bush's baked beans. My shelves are getting really low on beans and we have used a lot of baked beans this summer. So I need to can up some more, so I thought I would bring you along. So the first thing I did is I took 4 pounds of navy beans, and you can use whatever beans you like. If you prefer Great Northern, you can use Great Northern. I like the navy beans. So I had 4 pounds of navy beans that I sorted through and rinsed, and then I covered them with water, brought them up to a boil, and then turned the heat off and let them soak for 1 hour. Then I rinsed them, put fresh water on them, and now they're simmering, and we want them to simmer for about 30 minutes. We still want them to be a little al dente. So while those are simmering, we need to get our sauce going. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with 2 quarts of tomato juice. And to that we're going to add a quart of tomato sauce. This is home canned tomato sauce. Love that, smells so good. We're going to use about a cup of chopped onion. And then I'm going to add 2 cups of brown sugar, not packed. Just gonna scoop it into my measuring cup, but not pack it down. So we need 2 cups of brown sugar. And then we're going to add about a half a cup of molasses, and that's about what I had left in this jar. So I just turned him upside down so I can get everything out of there. These baked beans are so delicious and way better than anything you can get at the grocery store. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. You could use whatever vinegar you have on hand. I love apple cider in the beans. And then I'm going to add about 1.5 tablespoons of liquid smoke. See that okay? And the liquid smoke comes in different smoked flavors. This one is hickory. I think they have cherry and applewood and all that, and it doesn't matter which one you use. But we're going to use about 1.5 tablespoons. Give our beans a nice smoky flavor in the background. And then I'm going to add a teaspoon of ground allspice. Season things up a little bit. And then we're going to add 2 teaspoons of ground mustard. About. And you can adjust seasonings to your taste. And then we're going to add about 1 teaspoon of salt and 2 teaspoons of freshly ground black pepper. And then we'll give that a stir. I'm going to bring it up to a simmer, and we're going to let the sauce simmer while our beans are simmering. And when we get to our 30 minutes for our beans cooking there, I'll bring you back and show you how we can it up. Okay guys, we're back. I simmered my beans for about 30 minutes. That time is going to vary depending on what type of beans you're using and how old your beans are. So you want your beans to be cooked a little bit, but you want them to be al dente. So that took about 30 minutes, and then my sauce, I let it simmer for about 5. It doesn't need to cook very long. You just want all your flavors to meld together really well. I have about 2 inches of water in my All-American canner, and I also add 2 tablespoons of white vinegar to the water, and it keeps the mineral deposits from your water depositing to your jar, and it keeps your jars nice and pretty. So we are ready to can things up. I'm going to be canning in quart jars. I prepared my jars by washing them and then keeping them warm in hot water. You do not have, the guidelines state you do not have to pre-sterilize your jars if you are canning for 10 minutes or more, which we are going to, and we are pressure canning because we are canning a low acid food. All low acid foods have to be pressure canned. So anyway, we're gonna get a couple jars going here. And we're gonna add about 1.5 cups of beans to each jar. And we're looking for 1-inch headspace. Easier if I turn them that way so I can see the amounts on there. Okay, then we're going to ladle our sauce. Now this should give me about 7 quarts of delicious baked beans. Okay, there's my 1-inch headspace. Then we are going to use our debubbling tool, and we're going to debubble. If you don't have a tool, you can just use a butter knife and just go around the edge of your jar. We want to release any bubbles that got trapped at the bottom. And then we're going to wipe our rims so they're nice and clean so we can get a good seal. And then we're going to set our lids on. And you do not have to simmer your lids anymore either. Put our rings on fingertip tight. And lift them into our canner. They're so beautiful already. All right, I'm going to finish filling my jars and then I'll bring you back. Okay guys, my canner is full. I did misspeak. I said 1.5 cups of beans. It's actually around 2.5 cups. What you want is you want your jars to be 3/4 full of beans and then add your sauce. Alternatively, or alternately, you can always add your, if you have a pot big enough, you can go ahead and add your sauce to your beans and then just ladle it in that way. You can also process this in pints, same thing, just fill your jars 3/4 full of beans and then top it off with your sauce. We are doing quarts, so we are going to process for 90 minutes. But what we want to do first, just as a reminder, if you're new to canning or interested in getting into canning, I've got my heat on high and we're gonna watch for steam to come out of the steam vent, and we're gonna let it vent for 10 minutes first. Then we'll put our weighted gauge on, wait for it to come up to approximately 240 degrees, 10 to 11 pounds of pressure. Our little weight will start rocking and then we will start timing at that point. So anyway, this is really good. If you're not a canner, I hope this inspires you. I'll bring you back once things start happening with the canner. Okay guys, I just wanted to bring you in close so you can see what I'm talking about letting the steam come out of your vent for 10 minutes. I'm hoping you can see this on camera okay. For those of you who are new to canning, you want to let your canner vent for 10 minutes, which means steam pours out of that vent. And then once your 10 minutes are up, you can put the weight on. Okay guys, it's been 10 minutes. I'm going to put my weight on. I'm doing 10 pounds of pressure, if you can see that okay, because of where I live. So it's important to know what your altitude is so you know what pound you need. We need 10, so I'm going to put that on. And then we're going to come up to temperature of about 240 degrees. He'll start rocking and rolling, and then we'll start timing 90 minutes. Okay guys, hear that? It means it's time to start timing. We're doing quarts, so we need 90 minutes. If you're doing pints, it's 75. You also want to adjust your heat because you don't want it to be rocking and rolling the whole time. So I usually turn mine down to about a medium. You want your weight to shake 1 to 3 times a minute. So you need to adjust your temperature on your stove accordingly. For me, it's about medium heat for the size burner that I'm using, but it'll vary from stove to stove. So anyway, it's exciting. 90 minutes, I'll bring you back. Okay guys, welcome back. We are all done. I processed my jars for 90 minutes, like I said. Then I turned my heat off, let my temperature gauge return to 0, removed my weight, waited 2 minutes, and this is all per instructions for my canner. Waited 2 minutes and then took my lid off, and then I've let my jars cool gradually for 10 minutes in my canner, and now they're ready to be taken out. Look at those beautiful baked beans. Those gorgeous, better than Bush's, I promise. So now we're going to take them out of the canner. Some of my jars have already sealed. I heard them pinging, and we love that. That is music to our ears. So now what we want to do is let our jars rest for 12 to 24 hours. Don't touch them. Then we'll wash the jars. I always wash mine in soapy water. Remove the rings, wash the whole outside of my jars, give them a good rinse, wipe them dry, label them, and put them in my extended pantry. And I just love seeing my shelves full of delicious goodness that I was able to make myself. So if you aren't a canner, I really hope this tutorial on baked beans inspires you to want to give it a try. As you can see, it's not hard. It's just following instructions and a good recipe, tested, trusted recipe. I appreciate you coming along with me today. I did want to mention that this recipe will make 8 quart jars. My canner only holds 7, so what I had left over I just stuck in the oven, and we're going to have the rest of those for dinner tonight. But if you have a larger canner, it will make 8 quarts or 16 pints of baked beans, and you can adjust the recipe accordingly. If you have a bigger canner or if you have a smaller canner, you can not do as many beans if you choose not to, or you can add more. You can adjust all of those things to make as many beans as you like. So anyway, I think that's all of my little notations, but if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section and I will respond to you just as soon as I can. If you enjoyed coming along with me today, give me a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe to my channel. Have some more fun things coming up, and I would love to have you come along with me. So thanks for spending time with me today, and I hope you have a wonderful evening, afternoon, whatever it is, whenever you're watching, and I hope to see you next time.